Hey, OneLife, it's Pastor Mike. You know, I've been thinking about this idea of doubt. Have you ever doubted? Have you ever been worried or fearful or concerned? Have you ever been just unsure of what the future looks like? The truth is, we don't have to go real far into Scripture to find other people just like us who interacted with Jesus on a daily basis, who struggled with doubt. When we look at John chapter 20, 26 through 29, we find a man by the name of Thomas. Now, we have given him the name Doubting Thomas, and I think that's a little unfair. However, it is a nickname that he has picked up. And the reason is because after the crucifixion of Jesus, he struggled with doubt. He struggled with believing the things that Jesus had told him. And so, here we find Jesus has risen from the dead. Okay, we just celebrated that with Easter, the greatest event in all of human history. Jesus has risen from the dead, securing our relationship with God for all eternity, giving us the ability to come to Him freely, to have a relationship with God, and so we celebrate that. However, there were people in the Bible who really struggled with the fact that Jesus had died and could He possibly be alive again. And so tonight I want to encourage you with this word. John chapter 20 verses 26 through 29, it says, 8 days later the disciples were together again, and this time Thomas was with them. The doors were locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them. "Peace be with you," he said. Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and look at my hands. Put your hand into the wound in my side. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." "My Lord and my God," Thomas exclaimed. And then Jesus told him, "You believe because you have seen me. Blessed are those who believe without seeing me." So what's going on in the story? Well, just 8 days before, Jesus had appeared to the disciples, but Thomas, who was struggling with the doubt that Jesus would come back, was absent. Well, the disciples got to experience Jesus, and Thomas didn't. So 8 days later, Jesus makes an appearance yet again to show Thomas that he, in fact, was alive. I don't know about you, but I think that if I watched my best friend die a brutal death, I would have a really hard time believing that Jesus was back. And so here we find Thomas doubting. We have Thomas doubting that Jesus was alive because the Romans were perfect executioners. They knew what they were doing. And Jesus had died, and he knew that. But Jesus, who's full of grace, he's full of compassion and love for his people, appears to Thomas to relieve any doubt, to put any worry aside, and to reveal himself to Thomas. Students, I want you to know tonight that if you have ever doubted Jesus, your relationship with God, or whatever that you are going through tonight, I want you to know that Jesus is faithful. He loves you. He died and he rose again so that you could be free, so that you could experience once again a perfect relationship with him and to live your life for all eternity with him. You guys have a great week, and we will see you next week.